Think about the last real argument you had with someone you love. Not a small disagreement, but one of those fights that left you both hurt, exhausted, and feeling further apart than ever. Now ask yourself an honest question. What was that fight actually about? You'll probably say it was about the dishes, or the money, or the thing they said, or the plan they forgot. But here's the truth. It almost never was. Because couples rarely fight about what they're fighting about. The dishes are never really about the dishes. And until you understand what's actually happening underneath your arguments, you will keep having the same painful fight over and over, just wearing different costumes. And here's the part that should stop you in your tracks. The number one predictor of whether a relationship survives is not how much two people love each other. It's not how compatible they are or how much they have in common. It's how they communicate, especially when things get hard. You can love someone with your entire heart and still slowly destroy the relationship one badly handled conversation at a time. Love is not enough. The way you talk to each other and the way you fight is what actually decides whether you last. Welcome back to The Connection Code. Today we're going to talk about communication, the single most important skill in any relationship and the one almost no one is ever actually taught. I'll be honest with you up front. By the end of this video, you're going to recognize some of your own communication habits, and a few of them are going to be uncomfortable to see. But if you stay with me to the end, you're going to understand why your conversations keep turning into conflicts. And you're going to walk away with the exact tools to talk to the person you love in a way that builds connection instead of destroying it. Let me start with the reframe that changes everything. Communication is not about talking. It's about being understood and about making the other person feel understood. Most people think they're good communicators because they're good at expressing their own point. But expressing yourself is only half of it, and honestly, the easier half. The real skill, the one that saves relationships, is the ability to make your partner feel deeply heard even when you disagree. Because here's a truth that took me a long time to learn. Most people in an argument are not actually trying to solve the problem. They're trying to feel understood. And when both people are fighting to be understood, and neither one is offering understanding, you get two people talking at each other, escalating, and getting nowhere. So why does this happen? Why do conversations between people who love each other so often turn into battles? It comes down to one core mistake. In a conflict, we treat our partner as the enemy instead of as a teammate. The moment a disagreement starts, something primal kicks in. Your body floods with stress chemicals, your heart rate climbs, and your brain shifts into fight or flight mode, and in that state, you stop seeing the person you love. You start seeing an opponent who must be defeated. You're no longer two people on the same team facing a problem together. You're two enemies on opposite sides, and the goal quietly shifts from, let's solve this, to, I need to win. And the tragic thing is, in a relationship, when you win the argument, you usually lose something far more important. So let me show you the 3 communication patterns that quietly destroy love. These come straight from decades of relationship research, and once you see them, you'll catch yourself doing them in real time. Pattern number 1 is criticism. This is when you take a specific complaint and turn it into an attack on your partner's character. There's a huge difference between I felt hurt when you didn't call, and you never think about anyone but yourself. The first is about a behavior. The second is about who they are as a person. Criticism uses words like always and never, and it tells your partner that the problem isn't what they did, it's who they fundamentally are. And nobody, when their entire character is under attack, responds by saying, you know what, you're right. They respond by defending themselves, which leads straight to the next pattern. Pattern number 2 is defensiveness. This is what we do when we feel attacked, and it feels completely justified in the moment. Defensiveness is when you refuse to take any responsibility and instead make excuses or fire the blame right back. Well, I wouldn't have forgotten if you'd reminded me. I only did that because you did this first. The reason defensiveness is so toxic is that it's really just a way of telling your partner, the problem is not me, it's you. It completely shuts down any chance of resolution because you can't fix anything when neither person will own their part. Two defensive people just lob blame back and forth until they're both exhausted and nothing has changed. Pattern number 3 is the most dangerous of all, and it's called stonewalling. This is when one person becomes so overwhelmed, so flooded with stress, that they just shut down. They go silent. They stop responding, look away, leave the room, give the cold shoulder to the person doing it. It can feel like self-protection, like they're avoiding making things worse. But to the person on the other end, stonewalling is devastating. Being shut out, being treated like you don't exist by the person you love, communicates a profound rejection. It says, you're not even worth responding to. And over time, Stonewalling builds a wall of ice between two people that becomes almost impossible to melt. These three patterns, criticism, defensiveness, and stonewalling, are so corrosive that relationship researchers can predict divorce with startling accuracy just by watching how often a couple uses them. Now, before you start despairing because you recognize all three, let me give you the hope. Communication is a skill. It is learnable. The fact that you've been doing it wrong doesn't mean you're a bad partner. It means no one ever taught you how. So let me teach you now. Here are the 4 tools that transform the way you talk to the person you love. Tool number 1 is to lead with how you feel, not with blame. This is the antidote to criticism. Instead of starting a hard conversation by attacking what your partner did wrong, start by gently sharing how you feel and what you need. The structure is simple. I feel blank when blank happens, and what I need is blank. For example, instead of "you're always on your phone and you ignore me," you say, "I feel lonely when we're together but you're on your phone, and I'd really love some time where it's just us." Notice what that does. It expresses the exact same need, but instead of putting your partner on the defensive, it opens a door and invites them in. You're no longer an attacker. You're a person sharing their heart, and that's something the other person can actually respond to with care. Tool number 2 is to listen to understand, not to reply. Most of us, while our partner is talking, are not actually listening. We're loading our rebuttal, waiting for our turn, mentally building our counter-argument. Real listening means setting all of that down and genuinely trying to understand their experience, even if you disagree with it. And the most powerful thing you can do here is to reflect back what you heard before you respond. Say, "So what I'm hearing is that you felt dismissed when I made that decision without you. Is that right?" When you do this, something almost magical happens. Your partner feels heard, and a person who feels heard instantly becomes calmer and more open. So much conflict isn't about the disagreement itself. It's about one or both people feeling like they're talking to a wall. Make your partner feel understood, and you've won more than any argument. Tool number 3 is to take a break before you flood. Remember stonewalling, that shutdown that happens when you get overwhelmed? There's a healthy version of stepping back, and it's the opposite of disappearing. When you feel yourself getting flooded, when your heart is racing and you can feel yourself about to say something you'll regret, the skill is to name it and ask for a pause. Say, "I'm getting too worked up to talk about this well right now. Can we take 20 minutes and come back to it?" The crucial part is that you must promise to return, and then you must actually return. This isn't avoiding the issue. It's recognizing that no productive conversation happens when your brain is hijacked by stress. You step away to calm your body, not to abandon the conversation, and then you come back as a teammate instead of an enemy. Tool number 4 is to repair quickly and humbly. No couple communicates perfectly. You will mess up, you'll snap, you'll get defensive, you'll say the wrong thing. What separates strong relationships from failing ones is not the absence of mistakes. It's the speed and sincerity of the repair. A repair is any attempt to de-escalate and reconnect. It can be as simple as saying, "I'm sorry, that came out harsher than I meant. Let me try again." It can be reaching out and taking their hand in the middle of a tense moment. The willingness to be the first one to lower your sword, to say, "I don't want to fight with you, I want to understand you," is one of the most powerful forces in any relationship. Pride keeps fights alive, humility ends them. Put these 4 tools together and watch what happens to your conflicts. You lead with your feelings instead of blame, so your partner doesn't have to defend themselves. You listen to truly understand, so they feel heard and soften. You take a break before you flood, so you never say the unforgivable thing. And you repair quickly and humbly, so no rupture is ever allowed to harden into permanent damage. You stop fighting against each other and start facing the problem together, side by side, as the team you were always meant to be. Because here's what I really want you to understand before we close. Every argument you have is actually a question in disguise. Underneath the words about dishes and money and forgotten plans, your partner is really asking, "Do you still care about me? Am I safe with you? Do I matter?" And the way you communicate is how you answer that question. You can answer it with criticism and contempt and silence and slowly teach them that the answer is no. Or you can answer it with understanding, gentleness, and repair, and teach them over and over that the answer is yes. You're safe, you matter, we're on the same team. There's a line I want you to carry with you. In every conflict with someone you love, you have a choice. You can be right, or you can be close, but you usually can't be both. The need to win, to prove your point, to have the last word, is the very thing that pushes away the person you're trying to hold on to. So the next time you feel that fight rising, pause and remember what you're actually fighting for. Not to win. To understand and be understood. to stay close. Because the goal was never to defeat the person you love, it was to be on the same side as them for life. Learn to communicate like teammates, and you won't just survive the hard conversations. You'll grow closer through them. If this video spoke to you, hit like and subscribe so you and the connection code can keep decoding the real psychology behind love and connection together. And if you know a couple who keep having the same painful fight on repeat, or you feel it in your own relationship, send them this video, because the way they talk to each other might be the only thing standing between them and the love they actually want. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next one.